Welcome to the start of your brand new TD Navio. This setup guide will apply to the TD Navio, TD Mini and TD Maxi. Power on the device with the left-hand side button. Press and hold until the Apple logo appears and then release. Slide up from the bottom of the welcome screen to reveal the language selection screen. In this case, that's not needed, so we'll select English. Select country of region as Australia. Select your preferred appearance, default as standard. Tap Continue. On the quickly set up iPad screen, select Set up without device. Select your Wi-Fi network and enter the password. You will need to be connected to the internet for the initial setup. Wait until the iPad has retrieved its configuration. On the Data and Privacy screen, select Continue. On the Remote Management screen, select Enroll this iPad. The Configuring iPad screen will appear. Please note that this can take several minutes depending on the internet connection speed. On the Create iPad Passcode screen, tap Passcode Options. If you have a Navio Mini, this may be hidden behind the keyboard. Press and hide the keyboard button at the bottom right-hand corner to reveal the passcode option selection. Select Don't Use Passcode. A pop-up will appear recommending the use of a passcode. Select Don't Use Passcode. If you wish to add a passcode, you can do this later through the Apple settings. On the Apple account screen, select Forgot Password or Don't Have an Account. If you have a Navio Mini, this also may be hidden behind the lower half of the page. Slide up on the top half of the page to see this option. On the following screen, tap Set up later in Settings. A pop-up will appear. Select Don't Use. The same applies here. If you wish to add an account, you can do this later through the Apple settings. Select Agree on the Terms and Conditions screen. The following section of the setup can be selected however you would like. For the fastest setup, follow this guide, and if you wish to enable any of these settings, you can do so later in the Apple settings page. On the Update Your iPad Automatically page, tap Continue. On the Location Services, select Set Up Later, and on the pop-up, tap OK to disable location services. On the Screen Time page, tap Set Up Later in Settings. On the iPad Analytics screen, select Don't Share. Select your preferred theme and select Continue. On the Siri screen, select Set Up Later in Settings. Select Get Started. The second app page will open and you may see the Edit Home screen pop up. Tap Dismiss. On the app page, select the Self-Service app. Tap Allow to send notifications. Tap the blue arrow. In the left-hand side menu, select Tobii Dynavox apps. In this screen, you will be able to see the available TD apps for your device. In this particular case, we see the option to install along either side of these two apps. Tap the Install buttons. These may already be shown as installed and won't need any action at this time. Swipe up with a flicking motion from the bottom of the screen to return to the app menu. TD Snap and TD Talk are loading. Once they have loaded, they are ready to use. We'll test the sound output with TD Talk. Type something into the Speak window or tap a predicted word. Tap the Speak window button as shown and you should hear the output of the speech window. If you don't hear anything, continue with this setup and try this step again at the end. Turn off the device by going to Settings, General, and swipe down to the bottom of the page and tap Shut Down. Then swipe the top bar across to shut off the device. Shutdown will take roughly 5 to 10 seconds. Power the device back on. Once started, swipe up from the standby page. In a few seconds, you should see a pop-up that says, "Are you connecting a pair of headphones?" Select Other Device. If this pop-up doesn't appear, continue with this setup as the final stage will prompt this pop-up. Test the volume buttons at the top of the case. and then power off the device by pressing the power and volume down buttons simultaneously. If this doesn't work, you can shut down the device by using the option in Settings. Assemble the charging cable and plug into a wall socket. You should see a blue light on the charger. If you don't, check the cables are firmly seated with their respective sockets. With the device still shut off, plug the charger into the case through the socket and the rear right-hand side. Within a few seconds, you should see the Apple logo appear. This indicates that the Navio is receiving charge. If needed, the "Are you connecting a pair of headphones" pop-up should appear. Select Other Device. Test again if the volume buttons are functioning. Once all your apps have loaded, your Navio is ready to use. If for any reason the device does not seem to function as intended, please feel free to contact Link Assistive and we'll assist you in troubleshooting your device. Thank you for choosing Link Assistive by TD Navio.